Who's going to be the first quarterback taken this year? That's not a rhetorical question. It's very much up in the air. For most of this draft season, the battle for number 1 has been waged between Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. The two are deserving in their own ways, but neither check all the boxes. Love has the arm talent, but is a little on the small side. Stroud is accurate, but there's questions on whether he can succeed outside of Ohio State. Since neither of the elite college performers have really solidified themselves, a player with better overall tools has emerged as a not far-fetched possible number 1 pick, and that's Will Levis. The Kentucky quarterback is nowhere near as productive or prolific as Young or Stroud, but he has the sort of tools that draw comparisons to Josh Allen. If you'll recall, Allen was a controversial pick back in his draft season. His college stats were so bad that they made Sam Darnold and his high turnover percentage somehow seem like a second overall pick. Considering that debacle, NFL teams are starting to expand their horizons draft-wise. Will Levis might end up being a beneficiary of this new mindset. It doesn't seem outside of the world of possibility that a team like the Texans or the Colts could take him over Young or Stroud. Though, if Levis ends up getting drafted because of these comparisons and this newfangled idea to bet on talent, I think Allen deserves a cut of his signing bonus, or at least a Christmas card every year. That's because Allen and Levis are not the Spider-Man meme. Nor will they ever look into each other's eyes and say, this is what it must be like. Levis is a good, not great athlete, and might be able to help with his legs early on in his career, but part of what Allen brings to the table is his running. Allen just isn't a quarterback, he's an athlete that turned into a good quarterback. If teams are serious about learning their lesson and betting on talent, there is a guy in this draft that better exemplifies that. And it's Stetson Bennett. Yeah, obviously I'm kidding, but I just wanted to make sure you're paying attention. The real choice, obviously, is Anthony Richardson. And sure, he's not a one-for-one comp with Allen. He's faster, but doesn't necessarily have the arm strength that Allen has. He's more of a Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen hybrid. In other words, he's very big and fast. But more importantly, like Allen, he's got the tools that you think you can develop. I say think, because if I'm being honest, there is a lot to not like about Richardson. But before we get into that, let's take a look at what makes him an intriguing prospect. The Florida Gators quarterback is a great athlete, obviously, as I've already pointed out, but it's more important to really underline how rare his talent is for the quarterback position. For example, he made the Bruce Feldman Freak List, which is a top 100 list of the best athletes in college football, the ones that stand out amongst all the elite athletes. For context, very few QBs make this list, and Anthony Richardson was the only one this year. Considering that, it's pretty safe to say that he's probably going to test well at the Combine at the beginning of March. So then the question is, why is he behind Levis? It can't be because of the superior college resume. Their touchdown and interception production is pretty similar, same with their PFF grades. Though there is a pretty big discrepancy when it comes to the completion percentage. Levis in his final season with Kentucky had a 65% completion percentage, and Richardson's was 54% if you average up. But again, Allen's was 56% in his final season, and to really hammer my point home, Zach Wilson had a 74% completion percentage, and look how well that worked out. Where the two quarterbacks really differ, though, is on tape, apparently. Wilson could be good in the system, but there is visual evidence that Levis can be good in that system. Regardless, if you're looking for an upside pick, it really shouldn't matter how good or bad you looked in an offense in college. You're looking for tools that you can build off of. The pro game is obviously very different from the college game. The coaching and just even the general knowledge of what makes a quarterback good is way higher in the NFL. Considering those superior resources, it makes sense to take a chance on a guy like Anthony Richardson. That's what the Bills did with Josh Allen. He used something called 3D motion capture, whatever that is, to help improve his accuracy. And it also probably didn't hurt that he got Brian Daboll rather than whoever he had at Wyoming. That said, I do want to point out that Richardson is by no means a high floor prospect. His erratic footwork and inconsistent arm angles could just not be fixable. And is he a hard worker? I haven't heard anything bad about him, but we still haven't seen it until he gets to the NFL. All that stuff matters, especially when it comes to being the next Josh Allen or the next Jamarcus Russell or even Ryan Leaf. But it's also important to remember that when these types of players do work out, it's fucking electric. You could even argue guys like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson fall into this. Mahomes might seem like a pretty surprising inclusion, but he was by no means a surefire prospect. One of the more popular player comps for him was Jay Cutler, and that's not really a compliment for most. 10 teams, if you include the Bills who traded away that pick, could have had Mahomes. The Chiefs proved that you can't win the lottery, if you don't play. Does that mean Richardson should go first overall to whoever trades for Chicago's first pick? Not necessarily. Personally, despite the fact that Stroud's not floating everyone's boat, I think he's a really good prospect. He has a really good mix of floor and ceiling, and I could see why he would be a good pick over Richardson, if a team feels like it has a roster that it could really quickly turn around. Young? He's good too. Obviously the size kind of scares me, but he obviously can throw, so as long as he's behind an offensive line that can keep him clean, he could be special. Even Levis, who I think maybe sometimes I made him sound like he was a Stetson Bennett type in this video, he's good too. And I can see the whole eating banana peels thing really working well in a locker room. And if I'm being honest, I think taking Will Anderson or Jalen Carter wouldn't be the worst idea. We've seen the difference that a guy like Myles Garrett or Aaron Donald can make. Though the point being, I think teams should be open-minded enough to consider him high, and he definitely should not be falling out of the top 10. And some analysts even say he could be a bottom of the first round kind of guy, and I think that would just be a colossal F-up by the NFL. But anyways, tell me what you think. Is there a quarterback worthy of going first overall, and even trading up for? Or are you punting till next year and getting Caleb Williams? Leave a comment below and let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I'd like to take a second and ask you to please like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. The channel keeps growing slowly but surely, but it's all thanks to you, and I really, really appreciate it. Also, shout out to the guy in the comments who said I sound like Bob Belcher. Best compliment ever.